Hi, this is Sean Stewart, and this is my cultural memoir project for EDAD920. The two artifacts that I decided to choose were I wanted to put my degree, but then I realized my degree's hanging up in my office, so I had to do the next best thing, which is just the shirt that I wear to Texas Longhorn football games. So in an essence, or in a sense, that's what I'm trying to say is just the University of Texas and me going to Texas, and I'll explain that here in a bit. So that's my first artifact. And my second artifact is the equal sign, or for equality, for LGBTQ rights here in society, not only in America, but all over the world. So, what do the artifacts in your memoir signify to you in terms of cultural values? I'll start with the Longhorn. For me, it signifies higher education. Being a black male, it's very difficult for a lot of black males to achieve higher education in society today, especially in the United States. It's almost, I don't want to say frowned upon, but it's not the thing to do for black males. And that's why you see at both the 2-year and 4-year level struggles to get black males to complete higher education, and struggles to even see black males go to college if they're not an athlete, which I was not. So it signifies in terms of my culture, my cultural values, just higher education in general. Achievement of that degree was something that was very, very important to me. And something else that was important to me was just the prestige of graduating from the University of Texas. This is something that a university of that caliber was kind of the first in my family. Sure, people in my family and extended family have had bachelor's degrees, but nobody had ever gone to a school the caliber of Texas, and that was something that was important to me and to my family. Speaking of family, the Longhorn in and of itself symbolizes, when I talk about family, I talk about my blood family, meaning my parents, my grandparents, and this past summer, my grandmother passed away, but one of the things she really, really emphasized was education. And she just loved the fact that I went to a school like UT. And my parents, my dad graduated with a bachelor's degree, and that was it. My mom just had a few college classes. My sisters graduated from a 4-year institution as well, but I was kind of the first of my cousins to graduate from a school like this, and so my blood family really appreciated my UT family, academics and athletics, something that I value, academics in terms of higher education. And I say athletics, I didn't play sports at UT, but I have a lot of friends through sports and sporting events because of Texas. As far as the equality sticker, I tried to do this a little bit rainbowy, I guess you could say. But equality, equal opportunity for all, regardless of sexuality or gender. That signifies what I believe in culturally. I believe in openness in terms of being who you are, no matter where you come from. Perseverance in terms of just getting over lots of humps in life, I guess you could say, especially being a gay male, getting over a lot of humps. Not only that, a gay black male, getting over a lot of stuff. And then family. I'd like to think my LGBT family is one I can count on, and that's something that I value within that culture. What have I learned from others in my social contacts about who I am, what's important, what values I hold, and education and myself as a student? As far as being a Longhorn, just being determined and a leader. That's something that attending UT taught me, that it's not going to be easy. People aren't just going to give you stuff. You have to be determined, and you have to be able to utilize your leadership skills. And that's something that I pride myself on, is my leadership skills every single day, not only in class, for this class and for other classes I'm taking at UNL, but also for my job as well. But one of the more awesome things, I think, to me, and especially in terms of education, is a demand for evidence and critical thinking. This is just something that, growing up in small town Texas, you're just kind of taught to believe what everybody else believes so that you can be part of the in group, so that you wouldn't be ostracized. And when I got to Texas and when I became more educated, I realized, no, you need to look for evidence, ask for evidence to make sure that it's saying what you think it's saying, or so you can go against what someone's saying. This idea that you can think critically. And with education, I got to a level that I started to know knowledge that I never knew. Like I said before, I grew up in small town Texas, population about 15,000, just north of the Dallas area. But we were very small town. It was very conservative. And it wasn't until I got to college that I started to uncover things. And I would even argue for me in grad school, that I started to uncover things that I never knew, but I always had questions about. And so to me, that's important. And that's a value that I hold. Education unlocks that key to knowledge. And when you get to the equality sticker, I just found that it was okay to be myself, especially around that group of people, not having to put up a facade or be what other people wanted you to be. And when we think about equality, it's for all people, not just a select few. People often ask me, what do I stand for? And I always say equality for everybody. It doesn't matter if you're gay or straight. Everyone deserves this level of equalness, I do believe. And I could get into a subset of that when it comes to LGBT life, but I don't have time for that. But essentially, everyone should be educated on LGBTQ issues. And I feel I try to do this in my classes. Keep in mind, I teach in Texas. I teach at a community college. My students are primarily white upper class, although we're very, very diverse this semester, I've noticed. But they all tend to stay in their little bubble, and they're very intrigued about these issues. So I try to teach them to teach those issues to them. And that's a value that I hold. And I think that's part of education. And I think that's part of something that's important to me. As I said, it's my duty to correct ignorance. I think a lot of people are ignorant about certain issues, and they just need to be educated on those. What life experiences have helped you make what is invisible more visible? I would say, in being a Longhorn, just finding friends from other locations while I was at UT, finding friends who also came from small towns, who were also gay as well. But not only that, just finding a group, being part of a group. It was kind of awkward in high school. People usually like high school. I had mixed feelings about high school. It was okay, but I was ready to get the hell out of there. And the reason I was ready to get out is because here I am being this athlete and then this academic. I was on the debate team. I was on doing public speaking, extemporaneous speaking, all that. But I couldn't be myself, and I had to be what everybody else wanted me to be. And I felt that getting into college is where I finally found a group that I could be a part of. And that was the speech team at UT, because the speech team does not discriminate. We are very friendly with everybody, and it just felt like I was home. I finally found that group. I wasn't a misfit anymore. And as far as the equality sticker, just traveling to different locations around the country, understanding the gay life for different locations, because it's different from Houston than it is from Los Angeles, than it is from New York, than it is from Miami. So just traveling and meeting different people, but also being part of the in-group, yet part of the out-group. And I'm sure you understand what I'm saying when I say you're part of the in-group and being a gay male, but you're part of the out-group because there's this racial hierarchy within gay life. So trying to understand how that works, those life experiences helped make it come to light, stuff that I didn't realize that was there that I needed to be educated on, and I could educate others on as well. How have your values and perspectives shaped how you think about others, about differences, about social justice in schools? I know many people are just uneducated, and I put that in my teaching. I try to strive Black and Latino students, I try to get Black and Latino students in my classes to understand just how important education is. And for those who don't know, some people just don't know stuff. I know I said people could be ignorant sometimes, but sometimes people just don't know. And so I feel it's my duty to get them to know. And that's why I'm appreciative of my education. And I didn't really understand the equal access stuff probably until grad school. But it becomes important to educate others about unequal access so that they understand and they can also be agents of change when it comes to social justice. And just a quick example, I know I'm over my 10 minutes, but a quick example of how this can be connected to instructors and administration. We're hiring for a new dean in my department, Dean of Liberal Arts, and I begged and begged to be on the hiring committee because I think it's important that we get a dean of color in that position so that students can see people who look like them in higher positions and know this is something that I can do. I know I can do this because I see someone else. So I know I'm 30 seconds over. I just wanted to quickly get that in, but this was my memoir for this particular course.